Right, situation is that I've got these collectible bottles in my game, so I can go and pick them up. I want to keep count of them as well, because that might be something nice to let the user know how many they've got so far, or you can do things like you have to collect all the bottles in the level before you can get through the exit and so on, something we'll come to later. So at the moment, what it looks like is when the big guy collides with the red bottle, we delete the red bottle. We need to keep count of those, and the way we keep count of things in games and all programming really is variables. So if you click on the this funny little menu button here, there, and go down to your scene. This is the scene we're currently in, untitled scene, and there is edit scene variables, and I can create a variable which is going to be bottle count. We're not allowed to put spaces in the names of these, so I've used a capital C to make it look more readable. String means text. It's not text, it is a number, and it's going to start at the value of 0. So we've got this variable called bottle count which has value 0. In the event sheet, when I collide with the bottle, I'm going to delete the bottle and a couple of other things. So one will be, under other actions, we can do things with variables. Scene variables, change a number variable, bottle count, add 1. Cool, done. So we're going to add 1 to that thing. And that will work, but we won't be able to see it when we play the game, so there's no point playing it right now. We want to display that as well. So I'm going to add a new object, and instead of grabbing something from the asset store here, new object from scratch, and amongst these other things there is the option to add a text, displays a text thing on the screen, and I'm going to call this bottle count text, is a good name for it, and the initial text will be 0. I'll make it a bit bigger, 30, and I could choose different fonts and colours. I'll do that another time. Drag that into the scene. I'm just going to put it in the top left corner for the moment because I want to kind of have it visible all the time, but we'll see there's a problem with that. In fact, no, I'm not going to put it there. I'm going to put it here for reasons that will become clear in a moment. Now the thing is, this is not yet linked to our variable. What we need to do is when we update the value of the variable, we make this display what that value is. Fairly straightforward, but we're in the same place. Big guy in collision with red bottle, delete the red bottle, change the variable, and then change the text as well. So the text, we change the text to, we're going to set it to, and the easiest way to get the number is to click this button, which then lets you hunt down through the variables, scene variables, number variable, and if I click here, it lets me choose bottle count, and if I click apply, it automatically says this number variable, turn it into text, because this text thing can only display text. So that's why we're choosing that option, makes it easier to actually find the thing. So click OK on that, and if I run it, we should see that number going up as I collect the bottles, but we'll see one last thing that we want to change. So as I run around, collect the bottle, yep, it's going up correctly. But you can see I'm leaving it behind. I go over here, I can't see it anymore. I want it to be stuck in this top left corner where I originally put it. So that's the last step. I'm going to go back into my scene, and there's layers. If I click this button up here, it brings down this layers thing. Everything is on one layer at the moment, and they're stacked in and out of the screen, as it were. I can add a new layer, which I'm going to give a name. HUD, head up display, is a common name that we use for this particular thing. And this layer is now going to be static. The camera is not going to move around on it. Nothing's on it yet, but if I click on this, I can select which layer it appears on. I can say this layer is on the HUD layer, and I can then put it in the place that I want it, which is going to be top left for the moment. And when I preview and move around the screen, it should stay on that layer fixed in one place. You do have to be a little bit careful about making sure when you add objects to the scene that you add them to not this layer unless you particularly want them to be part of that head-up display. So there you go, we're keeping track of those, and later on we could potentially use that number for another purpose.